Michelle Obama's 2008. Yeah, from like Melania Trump taking.
There you go. Oh, hey, I'm on. Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Bob Roy. I teach Gifted and Talented in Spanish, and I'm going to talk about the word empower. And that's a huge, big pause, isn't it? Is it going? Okay. I tell my students English is like Velcro. It's everywhere. Everything sticks to it. You take it apart and stick it together. Empower is a good example of that. I do have these big pregnant pauses, don't I? And FYI, I'll be using these scholarly resources, the Oxford English Dictionary, the world's largest repository of English, Merriam-Webster, because it's America's dictionary, and dictionary.com, the low-hanging fruit. These are the scholarly equivalents of having dinner with the Queen, a backyard barbecue, and a street festival. Big pregnant pause, okay. I'll slow down. If I slow that down, it'll be, I'm expecting some laughter there, maybe, I hope. Anyway, I was told by my illustrious Apple Vanguard people to choose a theme from create, inspire, or empower. And I said, wait, empower? This is what empower looks like in my head. And yes, that is a 90s band. You will recall that. I got the power! You guys remember that? All right, so the word empower. M is the prefix from Latin for put in or into. Then around 1645, someone decides to stick it to power using that English Velcro. Now let's take a look at the word power. Again, we go back some 2,000 years to Latin potens or pote, meaning able. The Roman Empire falls apart, and the Celts make pote posse in the Dark Ages. By 1066, the Normans invade Britain and bring puer and puer. Then the great vowel shift, add in a W, and we have the word power. Power, when you melt it down into a wordle, using the 20-odd definitions, becomes this. Remember, the size of each word reflects the number of times it appears in the definitions. So, empower, officially, definition number 1, has been a legal term for centuries. Number 3 is more like what we do in our classrooms and has become the trending usage in recent decades. So what about number 2? What about enable? If empower means enable, why not use enable? I think you all know why. Let's take a look at it. Again, Latin prefix en plus able. Able goes back to the Latin verb habere, to have or hold, plus the suffix ilis. It appears as habilis around 1275. The Norman French don't pronounce the H, and the English make no attempt to keep it. And voila, you have able. Enable, to provide with the means or opportunity. Thanks to psychology and self-help industry in recent decades, the first 2 definitions of enable have mostly replaced the old legal sense in number 4. In the end, of course, nobody wants to be an enabler, and this is what has happened to enable and why we can't enable our children, and we would prefer rather to empower them. But how about habilitate? I want you all to give this verb a chance. Use it. I'm not making this up. It hasn't been tainted by any industry, and it's exactly what empowerment is without all the baggage. Late Latin.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. Room on lock the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well you already know. So just imagine, just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel a good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. Can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. Ooh, it's something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. I don't need no reason, don't be control. I fly so high, no ceiling when I'm in my zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. Room on lock the way we rock it, so don't stop, stop, stop. Under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well you already know. So just imagine, just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel a good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. Can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. Stop the feeling, yeah. So keep dancing. Oh, yeah, yeah. I can't stop the. 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 Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel the good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. Everybody sing. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling. Wanna see you move your body. Can't stop the feeling. Got this feeling in my body. Break it down. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling. Got this feeling in my body. Come on.
Now I get why, like, professional guys that do this will have the counter.
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. So that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know carrying the weight of the world. But I only have two hands. Hope I get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. Wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game made for everyone, and love is the prize. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself.
late in the evening, lost on the side. I've been sad with you for most of the night, ignoring everybody here. We wish they would disappear, so maybe we could get down now. I don't wanna know if you're getting ahead of the program. I want you to be mine, lady, to hold your body close. Take another step into the no man's land for the longest time, lady. I need you, darling, come on, set the tone. If you feel you're falling, won't you let me know? Oh, oh, oh. If you love me, come on, get involved. Feel it rushing through you from your head to toe. Oh, 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 oh. Sing. Louder. Sing. This love is a blaze, I saw flames from the side of the stage, and the fire brigade comes in a couple of days. Until then, we got nothing to say, nothing to know.
Good morning! Yes, there was one of you who replied. Who had a good time yesterday? Woo! Kyle, did you have a good time yesterday?
I had a great time.
Good. All right, we want to see who's in the building with us, who's in the room with us. So we're going to go feeder by feeder through here and see who can make the most noise. All right, it's a challenge. So let's start off with who is here from out of district. That's strong and proud.
They
I
started.
like it.
They started strong. Like they set the bar high.
They did.
Now what?
Who is here from the Erie feeder?
Silver Creek. There you go.
It's a long drive for them.
It's a long drive.
They'll be here. They'll be here. How about, I don't know, my feeder, the best feeder in the whole world, the Frederick feeder! Wow, everyone.
Home field advantage. Mead.
How about up in the mountains, the Lions feeder? That's a really long drive.
They're on Skype. They're streaming in back and forth.
Yeah, they'll be here. Yeah, speaking of streaming, let's give it up for... Oh, yeah. How about Skyline?
Is that all? Is that all our feeders? Do we know? Are we missing some?
Is there another one that, like, maybe this district's based out of or something?
I don't know. What's the name? Like close to the town, something like that?
Yeah, Longmont? There it is. That was good and loud. Speaking of streaming, let's give it up for Amy Delward of Frederick High School back there with the camera. She is live streaming this whole thing to Frederick's YouTube page, and we'll repaste it so you can all wave at the camera if you want to and be YouTube famous. And yeah, so that'll be great to be able to look back at the awesome Ignites from a little later today. So we wanted to really pump up the energy in here and get you guys moving. So what I need from all of you is to stand up and spread throughout the entire room. And here's the task. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to play a 15-second clip from a song, and you're going to dance like nobody's watching for 15 seconds. And then your task is to find someone in the room and talk about how the lyrics from said 15-second dance party related to your school year. Okay? And then I'll play another 15 seconds and you'll dance again, you'll find another partner and talk to them about those lyrics. Are we clear? All right, so let's move, get up, move around. You can't dance in an aisle. Let's spread throughout this whole place. And I can't wait to see your moves. You got it too? You got it? All right, here's your first song.
She did right. wanna do that dance, 'cause that's not what I need these for. The only thing about changing and face the strange changes.
It's gonna have to be a different man. Time may change me, but I can't trace time.
All right, talk to your partner about changes. Changes from your year. I'm up all the way here. Yeah. Could you go tell the guy?
Oh, you did at the end.
Could you go tell the guy in the back to turn up the volume on the main? Thanks. You'll do Dig Night. Unless we want to do the school names, I think it'd be funny and just don't do Kofefe. Okay. So you start with Meadowlark. Next song.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. It's in the night. It's in the
All right, talk about what knocked you down. So you do Meadowlarks?
Yeah. And then you have slides for all of them?
I took them out. I bladed them all. I mean, I'm just saying. And then
Yeah, we're gonna see. I need that picture.
last song.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. Come on, like the way we rock it, so don't stop.
All right, what has you feeling good? So I'll start with Mountain Chicken. You do Meadowlarks. I'll do Fidget Spinner. And let's get, as soon as I go off, I'll get really mic'd up.
I'll give you some time.
All right, let's head back to our seats. Back to our seats.
So much dancing at Tech Camp, yet I had no idea.
Yes.
Dancing.
It was already hot in here, and now it's like Nelly hot in here. Right now it is. So, as many of you know, we are the preeminent district in the state of Colorado, am I right?
That's true.
And everyone wants their kids to be in your class because you're that great. And so, yeah, clap for that. That's great. And so we are opening some new schools. And Kyle and I's feelings were hurt because we were not asked to be on the naming committee. And so we wanted to throw out some mascot names with you and see what you think of them. And then if you like them, we can take them to the higher ups.
Yeah, maybe we will. Maybe we'll just, hear your response. If you like them, we'll bring them forward.
Yeah, if you like, cheer. If you don't, boo. Okay, so my first name, mascot name for the new school would be the Mountain Chickens. And hear me out. A mountain chicken is actually a giant, like, toad. So that could be really cool because you think it's a chicken, we're in the mountains. Do you like mountain chicken? Okay. Kyle, what do you got? You got something better?
All right, number 2 on our list, we had meadowlarks.
What's a meadowlark?
It's like a bird or something.
Okay. Well, I know I can top it. How about the fidget spinners? Everybody likes a fidget spinner.
I think our work is done here, Ben. Okay. I think that's it.
All right, those are all my ideas.
All right, so moving us on to our next phase, our day 2 keynote. Instead of inviting keynote, Scott McLeod was fantastic yesterday, but we also know we have tremendous talent inside of our own district. So this year we opened up an opportunity to everybody in the district to apply to do an Ignite session. An Ignite session is a really interesting format, and I think you're going to like it a lot. But it consists of a smaller number of slides, typically 20, done to a timed track that the presenter presents from. And we are honored and privileged to have 4 members from our district doing our Ignite sessions today, and we're very proud. So I'm going to welcome to the stage, first and foremost, Mr. Bob Roy, currently working at Alpine and BlackRock.
All right. I'm Bob Roy. I'm gifted and talented and Spanish teacher at Alpine Elementary. I'm going to talk today about the word empower. This is it's a lot like my class, so pay attention. I tell my students English is like Velcro. It's everywhere, everything sticks to it. You take it apart, you stick it back together. I'm talking about prefixes, suffixes. Empower is a good example of the English Velcro. And for your information, today I'll be using these scholarly resources: the Oxford English Dictionary, the world's largest repository of English, Merriam-Webster because it's America's dictionary, and of course dictionary.com because it's the low-hanging fruit. These are the scholarly equivalents of having dinner with the Queen, a backyard barbecue, and a street fair. I was told by these illustrious people down here to choose a theme from create, inspire, or empower. And I looked at them and I said, wait, what? Empower? M plus power. This is what empower looks like in my brain. And yes, that is the 90s band up on top. Remember that one? I got the power! So the word empower. M is the prefix from the Latin for put in or into. Then around 1645, someone decides to stick it to power using that English Velcro. So let's take a look at how power developed, because they really are kind of mismatched. Power comes from potens or pote about 2,000 years ago. The word means able in Latin. The Roman Empire falls apart about 500 years later. The Celts make pote posse during the Dark Ages because they're all illiterate. By 1066, the Normans invade Britain and bring puer and puer, and we eventually have power when we add a W. I took all the 20-something definitions from the dictionaries I just mentioned and made this Wordle. Many of you use this in your classroom. Remember, the size of each word reflects the number of definitions. Officially, definition number 1 has been a legal term for centuries. Number 3 is more like what we do and has become trending in usage in recent decades. So what about number 2, enable? What about enable? If empower means enable, why don't we just use enable? What's that about? I think you know why. Let's have a look at that. Again, Latin prefix en plus the word able. Able goes back to the Latin verb habere, to have or hold, plus the suffix ilis. It appears as habilis around 1275. The Norman French don't pronounce the H, and the English make absolutely no attempt to keep it, and voila, we have able. So, enable, thanks to psychology and self-help and AA and all these other groups, in recent decades, the first two definitions have mostly replaced the old legal sense in number 4. In the end, of course, nobody wants to be an enabler anymore, so therefore we can't use the word enable, and we have to have replaced it with the word empower. So that's what happened to enable. So how about abilitate? I'm going to propose today that we use the word abilitate. I want you all to give this verb a chance. Use it. I'm not making this up. It hasn't been tainted by any industry, and it's exactly what empowerment is without the baggage of enable. Late Latin habilitatus, past participle of habilitare, from Latin habilitas, meaning ability. We rehabilitate all the time. Shouldn't we have habilitated first? Habilitate, with or without the H, you can use it both ways. A little known, rarely used verb can actually make a comeback, and you all know how this happens. We can make it trend on social media. You, just like me, want to be an abilitator. I think we could all do some amazing, superhuman things if we were abilitators. Let's make it trend. Post it. I can't wait to take what I learned at TechCamp to abilitate my students this fall. Bob Roy, at Royagi Bob. Hey, abilitating teachers is hard work. Who's up for hashtag happy hour? Create, inspire, empower. But whatever you do, don't forget to abilitate. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rob. That was fantastic. So find an elbow partner, someone sitting next to you that you're ready to talk about something for a second. And we want to ask you, what does empower look like in your classroom, and how could it evolve to be abilitate? So take a few minutes and talk about that while we wait for our next presenter. Okay, thank you. Hopefully you have some new ideas about empowerment and what that word means to you. And we're up next to introduce our next Ignite presenter, Krista Shiravelli, a science teacher at Niwot High School. So let's give it up for her.
Good morning. My name's Krista Shiravelli. I teach biology at Niwot High School. I'd like to start with an attitude of gratitude towards our school district, who's put such a powerful tool into the hands of its students. It enables equity, it ensures success, and it can ignite inspiration in students and faculty alike. You guys, I just completed my 13th year in education, with the majority, thank you, of my experience coming from the San Luis Valley in southern Colorado, where I worked for Upward Bound and Del Norte Middle School. Today, I'd like to tell you a story about how I prepared to inspire, but I need to let you know and be quite honest with you. As an educator, I get a little leery when people talk to me about their student work because I know they're showing me their most diligent, high-achieving students examples. And I think to myself, yeah, but does this work with your hardest needs students? Show me their work. And so that's what you're going to get from me today. I'd like to tell you my story through the lens of Block 4. Every so often as an educator, we get a class that humbles us to our core. We get a class that makes us work so hard, we leave feeling exhausted. With this particular class, I'd equate my classroom management style to a game of whack-a-mole. So I'd have to dig deep into my well of inspiration. In my heart, I know the educator James Comer was right when he said, no significant learning can occur without significant relationship. In fact, my philosophy of education statement begins with a quote from the book The Alchemist. When we love, we always inspire to be better than ourselves. When we inspire to be better than ourselves, the world around us becomes better too. Rita Pearson, a champion of education, stated it simply when she said, kids don't learn from someone they don't like. In fact, when I was working in one of the most impoverished regions in Colorado, or in the country, Costilla County, my good friend and mentor, Monica Villalpando, said, Krista, if you want to be a great educator, you need to remember this. Every day you teach students. It's only on your good days you actually get to teach content. So I knew I wanted, when I started using my iPads just last year, to set up systems for success. When you walk into my classroom, one of the very first things you're going to see is that I have taped outlines where I want the students' iPads to go. I lovingly call these my parking lot. I greet students at the door, and they know to sit at their assigned seat, put their iPad in the parking lot, and get started on the written work of the objective, essential question, and the warm-up. So I wasn't naive about the power of technology in a classroom and its ability to amplify instruction for good or for bad. So I spent a lot of time preparing. One of the things I did 2 years ago is, just like you, I came to Tech Camp. And I was bamboozled by all the array of tech tools and apps that I could possibly use to engage students. And so my advice to you is this. Pick your top 3 highest leverage and go with those. So here we're coming back to Block 4. On good days, it looked like this. Students are engaged in a station rotation to review biomolecules. So like a proud parent, I snapped a picture and I sent it off to my administrators. It was days like this that I actually could step away from that whack-a-mole role and actually embrace student connections and work with smaller learning communities. Other success stories came with dissections and using Schoology. Here, students could play a tutorial as they worked in small groups to dissect. I could also embed lab handouts. You can see here, they've got their specimen and they've got it labeled on Notability, and they submit that for grading. It was high engagement. Another success story came with Nearpod. For Block 4, it was essential that they worked in small groups, but what was also essential was they felt supported by me every step of the way. If they felt supported and that the task was within their reach, they persevered. And so I have to say, though, I'd be remiss not to tell you that there were sometimes the use of technology went wrong in my class. It went so wrong, a student left in frustration. It went so wrong that a student cried. It went so wrong that I thought, I'm going to give it up. I'm getting rid of the iPad. I'm going to get textbooks and worksheets just to keep the order. Because we all know great education looks like this, right? No. And so I persevered. Instead of putting emphasis on grading, I put more time on preparation. So I want to thank you for the chance to get to speak. As you're starting your summer, I hope you find inspiration in Tech Camp and have the power to inspire your students next year and the years to come. Thank you so much.
Can you get the thing? All right, thank you so much, Krista. And I have the pleasure of actually getting into Krista's classroom a lot, and it is truly an amazing learning environment. So take a few minutes and think back on your school year, think back on what you learned yesterday, and what has inspired you? What has inspired you to support yourself and to support your students? Take a few minutes and talk to your elbow partner. Just show me where that is so I know.
Let's do a screen.
So what do you want me? You just want to do it?
I can't. I mean, yeah. I'll make sure I get all the way up. Okay. Yeah.
She's amazing. Okay, thank you so much. And hopefully, not only were you able to share your inspiration, but that you got some inspiration from your peers. I'd like to introduce our next Ignite presenter, Adam Wellington, an 8th grade social studies teacher from Coleridge Middle School. So let's give it up for him. Woo!
This is Wilmer McLean. In 1861, McLean was a 46-year-old man, too old to join the Confederacy, but still played an important part in the Civil War. McLean's plantation was located near Manassas, Virginia, at a site of a stream named Bull Run. McLean and his family fled the war's first battle, settling 140 miles southwest. In spite of his hopes for solitude, on April 9, 1865, Generals Lee and Grant met in the front parlor of McLean's new home and signed the treaty that ended the war. Thus, McLean could say, "The war began in my front yard and ended in my front parlor." This is why I love history, because it is about people and their stories. Teaching with technology these last 4 years has empowered me to not be the sage on the stage teacher, not to worry about the facts and dates, but to step back, give up control of the room, and let students find what aspects of the story that fit them. For many of you in this auditorium, a history class probably meant listening to a teacher lecture, reading a textbook, or filling out worksheets. You may have done a poster project, but that was pretty much it. That's boring. History shouldn't be boring. So this is where we, teachers, come in. Instead of being the keeper of knowledge for my students, I must be their guide, helping them towards the stories that connect history to their own lives. In the last 4 years, my classroom has seen significant changes that would never have happened without iPads. I have flipped content by creating videos for students to get basic concepts more easily. Sometimes we will listen to a podcast as we walk around the school. It's a welcome change from sitting at a desk. Students may take a virtual field trip to Independence Hall thanks to a Nearpod lesson. This flexibility in learning has opened up our class time for more discussion, more research, and more time for me to interact and help students on their way to finding those stories. My students have responded to this approach with more creativity than I could have ever imagined. Now, my students have been empowered to embrace their own learning and interests within history, learning about the causes of the Civil War, In the past, I would have assigned textbook reading with a graphic organizer before moving on to the next topic. Now, I lay out the overall scope and sequence of how the war started with one of my flipped videos. Next, I may provide a list of causes for the war for students to research. Students are then able to create their own overview of the event, as this student, who created an animation about John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry.
At the young age of 12, Brannett witnessed an African-American slave get beat up, haunting him for years to come and informing him of his abolition. Ever since being exposed to slavery, he despised and was inspired to stopping and abolishing it altogether. On the evening of October 16, 1859, Brown had launched his infamous raid.
Another student wanted to demonstrate that not all American colonists were in favor of independence, as so many people tend to think. He created a stop-motion video with his Legos as a way to show the loyalist and patriot perspectives of the Boston Tea Party in the form of a modern-day newscast.
Welcome to Public News. I am Benjamin Harris, and we are reporting live from the Boston Harbor, where an estimated 45 tons of tea from 3 merchant ships is being tossed into the harbor. Although this initially appeared to be the work of dozens of Mohawk Indians, we are now learning that this act is in fact being...
Or one more. Instead of just reading and memorizing the Bill of Rights to then take a test, my students instead choose a specific amendment to focus on and go deeper. This student created a Fifth Amendment for Dummies book, using the Keynote app and using her artistic abilities to illustrate it. So in closing, I want to leave you with just one more story, recently from my classroom. I was giving feedback to a student for her next project, and I asked her what she was going to do. She paused and said, "Well, I could do an essay." She stopped herself, shook her head, and said, "No, I'm going to make a video. I need to be creative. It's more fun." Our students are ready for more control. They want, and yes, they need to be able to show their creative ways of understanding. It is up to all of us to continue to inspire our students, but now empower them to go further and create. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Adam. It's been tremendous privilege to be able to watch you and watch Coleridge through the journey of your 4 years, especially as you guys were one of our pilot schools, so thank you. So take a few minutes and talk to your neighbor. What are you excited to create for next year? Like, where is it?
thank you for that. I don't mean to stop the show too much, but we want to get through some logistical stuff before we're done this morning. We bring up our last Ignite presentation. Ben, do you see that black sweater over there? Is that yours? It is not. If it's yours, you can grab it. And if there's anything else you lost during camp, please check at the front desk. We have a lost and found up there. Also, we're going to have food trucks again today if you'd like to visit them. Nick McCormick at the help desk said that if you borrowed a device and you don't return it, he'll break your kneecaps. So please do that. And also, if you do want to tweet about our event today, or really just St. Vrain Learning in general, our hashtag is hashtag SVVSDLearns, and that's where you'll find a lot of the collated tweets from our learning across the district. And then last but not least, we'd be remiss if we didn't take a second to try to thank everybody that was involved in helping make this event possible. So I'm going to go through a bunch, and I do apologize if I missed you. There's a lot of people that put on this event. It's a big show. But first and foremost, I want to thank you as educators across the district that have taken the time to come here and learn. It feels really special and good for us as a team and a larger team across the district to see camp alumni like Adam doing things and learning about tools he saw 2 years ago and then making real differences with his kids in his classrooms. It's pretty special. And we know a lot of you do many, many special things on a daily basis, so thank you. Also, thanking OPD, the whole department, learning technology coaches, everybody at DTS. Big thanks to Frederick High and Brian Young and his team and Doug Jackson for the building being immaculate. And give that a round of applause alone. That's incredible. Food services for our snacks in the morning. All of our presenters, all of our Ignite presenters, Scott McLeod, and again, all of you. So thanks a lot. And with that, let's bring up Julie Reed, Learning Technology Support Specialist and former teacher at Longmont High, for our last Ignite presentation.
Okay. This is so much fun and scary and nervous and fun at the same time. I'm Julie. I just finished my 20th year of education, in 17 in St. Vrain. My story today is going to start 17 years ago when I was a relatively new teacher at Longmont High, and my principal asked me to go to this training to help 8th grade students transition into their freshman year, a critical time in student development. So that spring, another teacher and I went to this 3-day Link Crew training in beautiful Colorado Springs, where we spent 3 days doing team building and supportive, enlightening coaching activities. And I was so deeply moved that I decided that I needed to tell everyone that I knew about what I'd learned. I bought it. I was telling my friend one summer about my pitch for my newfound philosophy, and I noticed this random guy listening into our conversation. He walked over, rolled his eyes at me, and said, "You know they stole that. They stole it from improv, right?" So I was a little deflated. I had to go look it up, and sure enough, Link had borrowed heavily from the rules of improv, but I was so grateful to that stranger because I'd found a definition that made total sense for my classroom. You see, I'd always had structures in place, some preset and rehearsed lines, but the results always differed from class to class. The same lesson that sparked amazing conversation with one group fell flat in another, and I had this aha that while I was the same, the other players in my improv were different, which meant that my success at any given moment depended on my ability to improv to meet the needs of the group. Our ability to play by these rules borrowed from improv is especially important now as we shift agency to those other players in the room. We're blending learning, starting from a place of wonder and inquiry. We're asking students to connect to the outside world, and to be future ready, students and teachers will have to become improv ready. The first rule of improv exists to maintain forward momentum. Yes and is a mindset of acknowledging an idea or thought and moving forward without judgment. We don't have to use those exact words, but the spirit of acknowledging, engaging, and moving forward is our goal, because too often we block growth by using the word but, which acts like a full stop and creates resistance, whereas and signals an addition. A skilled improv player is able to affirm and redirect conversation with and, followed by a genuine curious question like, yeah, and what do you think about connecting that to something else? We can redirect and guide ideas to meaningful places with and. acknowledging a huge idea with a resounding yes. And our first step might be to start here. Can help a student or colleague with a big idea focus into an achievable starting space. This strategy helps create relationship and trust necessary for us to go big, which means to be fully and totally present, alert and aware in a space. To say no to second guessing ourselves, to judging and to being overly critical. It means that we have to learn to trust that our part in this improv is powerful and important, even in the moments that require us as teachers to stand to the side or to be quiet as other players shine. And that is a huge risk. And meaningful change is going to require risk. Students and colleagues alike need to see us take risks as we grow. Modeling going big by being willing to risk trying new things ourselves is critical and scary, because sometimes you swing and you miss. A lesson falls flat, an idea doesn't pan out. Going big means celebrating and supporting learning that comes from failure as well as from success. In order to navigate that risk successfully, we need the third rule of improv, which is total support. Total support is a way of moving through a scene or a lesson in a way that supports and helps all players look as good as possible. To let everyone's self-worth and participatory ability remain intact, even when we work through tough problems. Total support elevates the whole group by operating from a place that says, I am here for you and we can do this together. So my wish for you as we head into summer and wrap up Tech Camp is that you find a way to yes and yourself and others, that you go big and take risks with what you've learned here, and that you find a way to totally support yourself and your others along this journey of change. If I could be so bold as to riff on Shakespeare for a moment, I would say the world is our stage, and we teachers, students, and leaders are merely improv players upon it. Thank you.
All right, I just want to take a quick moment to give it up again for Rob, Krista, Adam, and Julie, because they take a huge risk in sharing their practice, so thank you. Woohoo! That is no small undertaking. So I just want to ask you to reflect on your school year, reflect on what you guys learned yesterday, and kind of what you're anticipating and hoping to get out of today, and come to a conclusion. What is going to be your yes end or your go big for next school year? Once you figure that out, we'd love it if you could share it. So if you have a Twitter account, take to Twitter and tweets SVVSD Learns because and share your yes end and your go big and what's going to change your classroom next year. If you're not a Twitter person, email yourself or email a friend so you can share your thoughts and remind yourself what you want to do to go big next year. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great remainder of Tech Camp, and we'll see a lot of you in the upcoming days for the other professional development. Thanks so much.